Hello, friends. It's your girl, Anna Loves, and welcome back to Creepy Corner Story Time. So today we're going to be doing things a little bit different. So typically I'll just do a short video and tell a creepy story. This story here that I'm going to tell you guys today, one of my relatives contacted me to tell me about an experience that she had at a plantation that she visited out in Louisiana. She wasn't really comfortable with me disclosing her name, so I'm just going to say that she's a relative. Okay, so a little bit of backstory that I found when I started looking up this place. I felt like I got to tell you guys a little bit of the backstory first before I get into her story. I felt like it really deserved it. The place is called Oak Valley Plantation in Vichery, Louisiana. It was originally a sugar plantation, originally established in 1820, and it was deeply rooted in slavery and exploitation, particularly put on them by the original owner, Jack Roman. He just had them work the land initially for profit, but then he decided he wanted to live on the land. So in 1830, he put them to build his mansion. Roman slaves carried out the entire grueling building process. The plantation itself was sustained with up to 110 to 120 slaves who performed brutal forced labor. The site marked high mortality rates, up to 18% of the population dying between 1836 and 1835. In 1853 and 1857, there was a yellow fever and cholera epidemic. That hit the slavery community on the plantation hard due to terrible living conditions and few options for clean water, as they resided in wooden slave quarter shacks. The plantation now is a popular visiting site and has hosted movies like Interview with a Vampire, Primary Colors, and music videos like Beyonce's Deja Vu. The plantation is a museum now. Staff and visitors alike continue to see and hear strange things, often referred to as one of the most haunted homes in all of Louisiana, and that's saying a lot. One example is dust billowing around the house when there isn't a breeze to be found. A couple of documented sightings is the ghost of Louise Roman, one of the Roman children. She's been seen on the plantation riding a pale horse and standing near the staircase in the home. Next is Josephine Stewart, the last homeowner. 4 workers say they were up one night and noticed from the parking lot that one of the upstairs bedrooms lights was still on. They were sure they had turned all the lights off. They looked closer and saw a woman looking down on them. Familiar with the family history, they recognized Josephine. They did not investigate. They drove off in their cars, looking in the rearview mirror, only to see that the house was dark. So that's just a little bit of the history of the house before I get into this next story. So my relative and her niece decided they were going to go visit this plantation. They are big history buffs and they love haunted history, and they thought it would be fun. They're always in Louisiana visiting New Orleans and different places. They love the culture, so they thought it would be really fun to go. And a little bit of backstory about my family. We do tend to be very sensitive to having a sixth sense about things. I know that everybody has a little bit of that something, and you probably do too. You've at some point been somewhere, felt all the hairs on your arm stand up, or all the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, or just feeling uncomfortable in a situation. You know, they always say it's your gut instinct. You know, we all have it. So it's very strong in my family, to the point where there are certain places that we cannot visit, and the experience is different for us than it is for other people. You know, this is conversations that we have when my family gets together. We tell stories. So They go to the plantation and they're like any other tourist. You know, they have their camera ready. They're ready to take pictures and they're excited. So they get to the first floor of the house. They're taking pictures of pictures. And when they get to the staircase and start going up to the second floor, they start feeling anxiety. My cousin says she starts feeling anxious, nauseated. She starts feeling her heart just pounding. So she turns and she looks at her niece and she's looking at her the same way. They're both red in the face and they're saying, yeah, are you hot or do you feel sick? Oh, yeah, I feel sick too. So they decided to beeline it out of there because they start feeling nauseous, like they're gonna throw up. So they go out, and no sooner do they make it out the back door that they start getting sick all over the lawn. They go and clean up, and they decide they are not going back in there. Later that night, they get to the hotel, hook up their camera so they can start looking through some of the pictures from the visit. Not one picture showed up on the camera. Not one. That was their sign. Didn't go back. So I know with the history, the information that I got was mostly off of their website and off of another little ghost story website, and I'll put those links in there so you can read about it. They are very vague on some of the things that happened at that plantation. Knowing the history of Louisiana and knowing the history of just that time, there had to be a lot of stuff going on there. And I say this because there are instances where I visited places and I felt physically ill. And it wasn't just because it was scary. It was because sometimes it was sadness, or you could feel someone's rage. Let me know if you guys have ever experienced anything like that. Do you have any stories? Would you be interested in me visiting any of these places and taking some videos or pictures? It sounds exciting to me. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you being patient with me. I'm really new to making this kind of content and videos in general. So thank you so much and have a wonderful night. Bye.